Today's another WRAL weather alert day.
We're going to bring you all you need to know to talk about the road conditions this morning.
You can see just some of the lingering impacts of that snow and winter storm from the weekend.
Well, every school district is either closed or remote today.
We are showing you the roads in real time.
We're definitely not going anywhere near anything that's frozen or on anything that's frozen.
Certainly dealing with those lingering effects over the weekend storm that we're tracking this morning. We just want to say first, thank you for joining us this morning here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. Welcome to your Monday. And I would say one positive effect from this snowstorm is that at least yesterday, the majority of kids got off their screens, off their devices, and out playing in the snow. And some of those kids could have another day to do that today. But Elizabeth, I would wait for a few hours, let temperatures warm up a bit. It's cold.
Oh, yeah, it's really cold. We do have a cold weather advisory in effect again for today. So today is a WRAL weather alert day for slick and snow-covered roads and those very cold temperatures that we're seeing out there this morning. Winter weather advisory, not for any additional precipitation, but just for the fact that it was very cold overnight last night, and we have very slick conditions in some places. Cold weather advisory in effect through this morning. We're looking at temperatures in the teens this morning, and some single-digit wind chills. Durham looking pretty good. We've had just a little bit of patchy ice left here in parts of downtown. This is right near the American Tobacco Complex, and the Deepak's right over there. So definitely some patches where it's still slippery, and Ken's going to take a closer look at that coming up. It is 14 degrees, but our wind calmed down just a little bit there at the airport, so it feels like 14, but it feels like 3 in Southern Pines, 11 in Fayetteville and in Roxborough. In the white box on the right is the wind chill. It feels like 12 in Rocky Mount and Wilson this morning. Road temperatures obviously are well below freezing, so everything out there is frozen, and it is Groundhog Day today. Finally, our temperature warms up above the 30s, right to around 40 later on this afternoon. Sunny skies, of course, mean that maybe we'll end up with 6 more weeks of winter. We'll take a look at what it looks like when we check out the climate models, though. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WR Traffic Center. We're staying on top of these road conditions, and really and truly, as we take a live look at I-40 and South Saunders, this is what we're seeing. All free and clear, those major routes. Here again, I-440 and Ridge Road, nothing but clear sailing on those major routes. It's those neighborhood streets where we're seeing some icy and snowy conditions, and that's why we've dispatched the WRAL Storm Tracker, Laura Levine, photographer Mark Alexic. You're in a neighborhood just off Briar Creek Parkway, so let us know what you're seeing.
Yeah, Ken, this is why it's so important when you're traveling out this morning, especially in some of these neighborhoods, giving you a live look of what we're seeing right now. Right now, there is like a little bit of an incline here as we're heading to the main route here of Briar Creek Parkway. You can see just a sheet of ice covering this road. A few minutes ago, we actually saw a car trying to go this way, travel this way, and we saw their tires spinning on this ice as they were really approaching Briar Creek Parkway. So it's important to note that when you're leaving your home this morning, you will likely still see sheets of ice and snow on your roads, and that's because crews have not traveled and hit and plowed some of the secondary and side roads, of course, the focus being the main roads and main interstates. So just be careful when you're traveling out today if you do have to venture out, because we are seeing still a whole lot of snow and ice and the lingering effects of the storm, Ken.
Yeah, definitely there's some slick spots when I left our neighborhood this morning. So do yourself a favor, really and truly, leave the house a little sooner than usual this morning. In terms of major routes heading into the Raleigh-Ray County area, very little to no delays, sort of a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale on I-87 southing. You're coming in from Garner, Johnston County on just a 1-minute delay between Highway 36 and the Beltline. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
You know, this winter weather also extends beyond the roads in terms of safety. And as people get out to enjoy the snow on the ground, there are some things you should be aware of. WRAL's Ali Kavlabar is live in Raleigh to talk more about this. Ali, doctors say that they typically see an increase in ER visits after weather like this.
And UNC Health tells us they've definitely seen that over the past 2 weeks, and it's because of spots like this. You can see this sidewalk here. Most of downtown is pretty clear. You can see that main road right there. It's clear, but you are seeing on sidewalks these slick spots that look like ice, and we do want to show you all of the parking lots as well. Some of them have those slick spots too. UNC Health says winter-related injuries have kept them very busy the past 2 weeks. They estimate 10 times the normal number. Car crashes, slips and falls, and injuries from sledding have been the most common. We've seen many people of all ages embrace the snow and sled this weekend. UNC Health says they've seen a lot of trauma injuries from that. They're asking people to just be extra careful.
The sledding, the big obstacles, you have to make sure you're not going to run into any. And then the other one is wearing a helmet. And finally, there's no brakes. So you want to kind of plan your run expecting that you're not going to be able to stop.
Now, Lamb says, that's Dr. Ryan Lamb with UNC Health. He does say that they expect to see less sledding injuries as the snow melts, but whether you're going outside or you're going sledding, make sure you take it slow and be extra careful. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Every school district in our area is either closed or remote today. This video is from Aversboro Elementary in Garner yesterday. You can see snow covering everything in sight there. Wake County schools and Durham Public Schools are closed today. Many other districts made the same calls, like Johnston and Orange. In our southern counties, several districts opted for remote learning, including Cumberland and Harnett County schools.
Just a heads up, Duke Energy wants you to help conserve energy this morning as it faces what could be the highest energy demand of the season. The combination of bitter cold temperatures and heavy morning heating demand is creating a brief but critical window. The utility is asking customers to cut back on electricity use until 10 a.m. to help prevent strain on the grid.
Maximize every resource we have is we are asking customers to help us during that 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. time frame to help reduce some of their energy use, share that electricity with everyone to make sure that we can reliably serve the whole system.
And teams have been working through scattered wind-related outages in mountains and coastal areas, but the main concern today is system-wide usage. Duke Energy says even small steps like delaying appliance use or even lowering your thermostat slightly can help avoid temporary outages.
Police are warning about the dangers of falling into frozen ponds after two separate incidents within the same weekend. WRAL's Carly Haynes is live in Cary off Caniff Lane, where a boy fell through on Sunday. Carly.
Our meteorologists have said anything under 3 inches of ice on a frozen body of water is enough for a person to fall through. Now, we're standing in front of that pond where this incident happened on Sunday, and you can still see that part of the ice. It's a little thinner than the others. Now, neighbors told us that this pond freezes every year when it gets cold enough. According to the Cary Police Department, the 10-year-old boy was exploring the pond around noon Sunday when he fell in. A neighbor happened to be watching through their kitchen window, so they ran outside to try to rescue the boy, and they fell into the lake themselves. Both were in the icy water up to chest level.
I couldn't get him out. I tried like 3 times and he couldn't get out. And so I was trying to take advice. I was telling him to stay calm because I was starting to panic, and I was like, stay calm, stay calm. And then we started hearing the EMTs and the ambulance come. As soon as I heard that, man, it was like, you hear them all the time and you appreciate everything they do. But when you're on this side of it, man, it's like on a whole nother level.
The two were in the water for less than 5 minutes, and they are expected to be okay. This is the second incident in one weekend. On Saturday over in Holly Springs, an 11-year-old boy fell into a pond over there. They were in the water for more than 3 minutes. Fortunately, they are expected to be okay as well. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Cary.
And folks, make sure you have the WRAL weather app downloaded to your phone. And that way you can keep up to date on the latest forecasts and conditions. It's free to download.
Sentencing is set to begin tomorrow for Austin Thompson. He pleaded guilty last month to killing 5 people in Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood in 2022. He also pleaded guilty to 2 attempted murder charges and 3 for assault. Thompson was just 15 when he went on a shooting rampage in the neighborhood. His 16-year-old brother and an off-duty officer were among the people who were killed. Since Thompson was a teenager when the shooting happened, a judge has to determine if he is eligible for parole. WRAL will have live coverage as his sentencing plays out on TV and online.
Today, Durham City Council could vote to hire a company for its proposed real-time crime center. Council members will consider a contract for Peregrine Technologies. The company does not collect new data, but instead, city leaders say it will bring Durham's data under one umbrella to help police respond more quickly and effectively to crime. People have spoken out at previous meetings citing privacy concerns. Your time is 6:09 this morning. Election season. Mail-in voting for the primary races is already getting started. So we'll show you some key races that'll be on your ballot.
Shadow Watch. Today is Groundhog Day. How winter weather is affecting celebrations in our area today as you look live in Pennsylvania, where Punxsutawney Phil is getting ready to make his prediction.
And I'm predicting sunshine for today. You know what that could mean around here. Definitely, we've seen some cold temperatures, wind chills in the teens this morning. We have a cold weather advisory. I'll show you when temperatures will finally start to climb coming up. 6:12, you're going to see varying conditions across our area this morning. This is a live look at Chapel Hill, which looks just fine. But of course, there are some side streets, some neighborhood roads that are still fairly well covered. And Ken's going to talk more about that coming up. Temperatures are cold out there this morning. It's 13 in Cary, 14 in Durham, 16 in Holly Springs, and 17 in Goldsboro. In some places, our wind chills making it feel like 10 to 12. In terms of what you're going to see out on the roads, interstates are looking pretty good. But again, those neighborhood roads, I know mine when I came in this morning were definitely still covered. We are going to see plenty of sunshine today. That sunshine will really help even if the plows don't come out. Today we should see a lot of melting even on those neighborhood streets. But we don't hit temperatures above freezing until close to lunchtime. Again, we should see a high of 40 degrees later on. Coming up, we'll likely have the chance of some rain Tuesday night and maybe a little flurry Wednesday night. We'll talk more about that.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes, as you just mentioned. All our major routes are clear as we take a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Boy, it's those neighborhood streets where we're seeing those icy conditions. So as you get ready to head out this morning, 3 takeaways we want you to be reminded of. Reduce your speed, increase your distance between vehicles. Always avoid sudden maneuvers like sudden braking or accelerating. And by all means, clear those vehicles of snow. You don't want to impede other drivers by that snow slamming into somebody else's windshield.
That's good information to know. Thanks, Ken. Mail-in voting for North Carolina's March 3rd primary elections is already happening. And candidates endorsed by elected leaders such as Republican President Donald Trump and Democratic Governor Josh Stein face competition to win their party's nomination. Races for seats in Congress, the state legislature, and more are all on the ballot. Trump is backing Michael Whatley in the crowded race for the GOP nomination for an open U.S. Senate seat. Stein is hoping to oust a longtime Democratic state House member instead by choosing to support her Democratic challenger. Our NC Capitol team has a breakdown of the races to watch over on WRAL.com.
All right, I'm channeling my inner Bill Murray right now, reporting on Groundhog Day. Would you look at this? This is Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania right now. These guys know how to party. It is, of course, Groundhog Day. Now, with much of the country dealing with freezing temperatures, many are looking to Punxsutawney Phil to make his prediction. So how accurate is he? Well, last year, Phil saw his shadow and called for 6 more weeks of winter. But the National Weather Service says temperatures ended up being near average or warmer than normal. Since 1887, Phil has seen his shadow far more often than not, 107 times, and shadow equals winter. But meteorologists note his accuracy is spotty. So we'll see what he does today. He is going to be pulled out at around 7:25, 7:30, and this is why I became a journalist. We're going to bring that to you live.
And Keely, I was reading that NOAA even graded all the groundhogs, and Punxsutawney Phil has a 35% accuracy rate here. So, yeah. There we go. Well, meanwhile in Garner, the weather has forced the town to cancel its annual Groundhog Day celebration. For years, the town has turned to a groundhog named Snurd to help make its weather predictions. But with lingering snow and ice, the town says the event cannot go on. Apex also adjusting its plans for Groundhog Day. Mayor Jacques Gilbert says Sylvia the armadillo will not be at this year's event. The mayor says they will be bringing in a special guest to help make the annual weather prediction. The special guest will be announced by the mayor at 11 a.m. on Facebook.
All right, so the Outer Banks saw record-breaking snow and snow drifts measured in feet, but was it technically a blizzard? Meteorologist Chris Michaels breaks down the specific criteria that must be met. And was that the case, Chris?
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into actually classifying a blizzard. You've got to have falling or blowing snow, wind gusts or sustained winds at least 35 miles per hour, visibility less than a quarter mile, and all of that has to last for 3 hours. Now, obviously, there was the snow along the Outer Banks. There was more than a foot for the first time since 1989. Newport, North Carolina saw 15 inches of snow. That's more than Spokane, Washington has seen all winter long, and it's approaching Philly and New York City for what they've seen all winter long. So we had the snow. You guys know that. They definitely had the wind gusts from Kitty Hawk to Rodanthe, Beaufort to Nags Head, Duck to Oregon Inlet. But they didn't have the visibility at a quarter mile or less. There was varying visibility, but that was the one check mark that they didn't cross off. So technically speaking, it wasn't a blizzard, although it certainly looked and felt like it. If you missed it yesterday morning, I sat down with the National Weather Service in Newport and Morehead City to talk about their perspective, what the storm sounded like. That interview right now on WRAL.com. Elizabeth, no blizzard there, technically speaking. Definitely not here, but hey, enough snow to stick around through the week.
Yeah, and that was a really good interview. I highly recommend checking that out on WRAL.com. We have a cold weather advisory in effect again for this morning, looking at very cold temperatures. We still obviously have some road issues, mainly side streets, neighborhood streets, and then the potential for some rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's what we're going to be talking about in just a little while. We take a live look at Durham. Still some icy patches out here in front of the DPAC. This is really a driveway that you're seeing there, so it doesn't look like that's been plowed. Places that haven't been plowed are still fairly icy, so just be careful. 14 is our temperature, and that ties for the coldest that we've seen so far this winter. Fortunately, our winds have calmed down, at least in the triangle, so we're not looking at wind chill, but it is going to be cold. We don't climb above freezing until right around lunchtime. This is a look at those wind chills. It feels like 3 in Southern Pines, 11 in Fayetteville, and 12 in Rocky Mount and in Roxborough. So we still have, of course, slick conditions out there. It is a WRAL weather alert day. We do have that potential for some messy conditions out there on the roads. This is a look at the timeline for our wind chill. It's likely to feel like 35 at around 3 o'clock, and then we do climb to around 40 degrees. It is Groundhog Day. It will be a sunny day, so you know what that means. Even though we hit 40 degrees, which is really chilly, we're looking at that sunshine, which should help the melting process, but the groundhog is going to think that we're going to get 6 more weeks of winter. But scientifically, we can take a look at models run by the Climate Prediction Center that go out a lot farther than some of the models that we use for just daily forecasting. So below average, most likely between now and the middle of February. But we take a look at a 3-month average. So February, March, and April together, we have a good chance of above average temperatures. So from what you can take from this is if we can just get through the month of February, we might have some warmer air that starts to move in. Our normal low is 32. We will be above normal on Wednesday. We'll see temperatures above normal, so we're looking at just some rain out of that system. We're going to take a closer look at that coming up at about 6:45. Our normal high is 53, and of course, we're well below that for most days in the next week or so. Coming up, again, we're going to talk more about that potential for some showers and how far behind we are, at least for the last month or so, looking at some cold temperatures over the weekend, but we'll see a good bit of sunshine. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we are going to make sure you know what to expect as you get ready to head out this morning. Here's a live look at US 1 and 64. This is what we're seeing, all clear of any snow and ice, and that's what we're seeing on all of our major routes on I-87 and Smithfield Road. Those are the southbound lanes coming toward us this morning, but really and truly, as a result of this, we're not seeing any delays, relatively speaking, on any of our major routes. I-40 eastbound, I-87, US 1 north and south coming in from Wake Forest and Apex respectively. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Conserving energy. 5 on Your Side explains ways that you can help keep usage down as Duke Energy warns of rolling outage concerns.
And fun in the snow. People were out enjoying what was left behind from the weekend snowstorm. We'll get you a look at the exciting snow day in our area.
If you see breaking news, have a story tip, or take video or pictures of the weather where you are, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tip to our news team.
So the kind of snow that we saw over the weekend isn't great for making snowmen, but what it was good for, sledding. And a lot of people were doing exactly that yesterday. Here we go! getting all the speed. When the sun came up and the snow was no longer falling, people wasted absolutely no time hitting the slopes in Holly Springs, the slopes of that golf course there. And this driving range was filled with families hopping on their sleds there, and kids spent hours going down and down and down. And this is definitely going to be a day they remember. It looks fun, too.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
Fumbles at the Grammy Awards and punches thrown on the ice in Florida.
Uh-oh, someone throwing down. We have Ken Smith talking about it this morning in What's Trending.
Well, the Grammys are trending not because of just the big awards, but because of, we'll get to that in just a moment, but hockey stars showed out last night at the NHL Stadium Series game between the Lightning and the Bruins. The Lightning players showed up dressed like football Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Bruins players would not be outdone dressing like Revolutionary War players, and that was before the two sides squared off at the Raymond James Stadium for that series game.
Oh, yeah, things got heated, though, during the game. And another goalie fight breaking out there. The Lightning, though, went on to win 6-5. But the audience, I think everyone won seeing that fight.
Two goalie fights the last 2 weeks? What is happening?
I know, right?
Well, let's get to the Grammys, shall we? And Cher flubbing her opportunity as a presenter. Take a look.
Before you go, Cher. Cher, before you go, could we get you to announce the nominees?
Yeah, not only did she forget to read the nominees, she also forgot to open the envelope, and when she did, she announced the wrong name. She said Luther Vandross, who actually passed away back in 2005.
Yeah, the award was actually meant to go to Kendrick Lamar and SZA for their song Luther. So maybe that's why she referenced Luther Vandross. But, well, confusion. She's human. Look, and she's 79.
All right. We'll give her a break.
The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots touched down in California ahead of Super Bowl 60. The two teams will be gearing up for a rematch of Super Bowl 49. And that was when the Patriots beat the Seahawks in a dramatic 28-24 victory. Both teams finished this past season with a 14-3 record. Both quarterbacks, Drake May and Sam Darnold, will be looking for their first championship win. And we are less than a week away from Super Bowl 60. WRAL is your place to watch the big game. Kickoff at Levi's Stadium is set for 6:30 p.m. this coming Sunday.
Your time is 6:27. Rescued from icy waters. A man rushing to save a boy who fell into a frozen pond a day after something similar happened. A safety warning from that man as dangerously cold temperatures stick around.
Icy roads. Here's a live look from the WRAL Storm Tracker in Raleigh. You can see this road got cleared pretty well. The trouble spots that you will need to look out for during your morning commute.
And with all that snow cover out there, it's a very cold start this morning with temperatures in the teens. We do start to warm up later on today. I'll let you know how long the warming trend will last.